Everybody, welcome back to Sticks and Stones Wood Carving. I'm Kevin, and in this video here I have to explain before I actually get into the video is while I was making the video I bumped the camera, and for half of the video in the beginning it actually shut off and I didn't know it. Alright, but we did make a nice little Native American, and I don't want to put that footage away. I just don't have it. All right, so I'm going to start the video from where it did pick up, because there's still a lot of nice little tips in there, and we're going to redo the video and make another Native American, or maybe two, on the channel so we can all practice them anyway. So I'm just going to load this footage anyway, so if you're watching the video, it kind of starts halfway through the video. Sorry about that, my bad. But that's just how things go sometimes. But we're going to load the video anyway, so you guys can get to see at least the rest of the video. Maybe you'll pick up some tips, and we'll redo the video and make another Native American. And this time we'll be able to do it on a bigger piece of wood, because I got some new basswood in today, so which is really what I wanted to do anyway. All right, so enjoy the video, what you can get out of it. Hopefully you can get, and I will see you, everybody, in the next one. Okay, here we go. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Sticks and Stones. Okay, I had to take his head down a little bit more. So I thought I was filming and I wasn't, but I used my knife here and I took his head down. All right, it was a little too high. And since the wood was so bad here, what I did was I took my ruby carver. All right, now whenever you're working with basswood, this right here is a ruby carver. It's not a diamond bit, all right? It's a ruby bit. You can get them at carving stores. I don't know if you can find them on Amazon or not, to tell you the truth. But you can look. And the thing is, a ruby carver will start cleaning up this basswood, and you could put some very fine detail. And so I use this a lot for bird carving. I'm sure Ben over there at Studio on the Lake probably knows all about these birds, and Just Carve Rob. All right, because if you're working with basswood and you want to clean something up, it's a very, very fine cut. And you can really shape, let me show you, and clean his features up really nice. Smooth everything over where those knife cuts were really bad, all right? But it's very fine. All right, but it's good for getting fuzzies out and shining over. It's not going to cut heavy, but it will clean up just in spots where you want. All right, and it keeps. So all I did was I used that, and I cleaned him up, and you know, his face looks a lot better now. Because getting in here with that knife, there's some bad wood back there, and this actually, it's almost like sanding it, but it definitely works really good on basswood, and it helps you shape things over a lot easier than sometimes just getting stuck on something little like this, and you want to make it nicer. So I'll use that to clean it up if things ain't going well with my hand tools sometimes. Could be just that I'm bad at carving, I don't know. But when I use it, it gets me out of a pinch sometimes, so that's what I did there. Okay, so now he's looking a little bit better, and I'm a little happier with him. And I'm going to try and put some kind of, well, for one, we're going to take this hair, and we're definitely going to make that stand out. We'll probably give him a braid. So I'm going to do something like this. All right. Over here, too, we'll try to make it fairly close. Just going to do something like that. We'll make this one a little bigger, I guess, so they look a little more even. All right. I'm going to cut those pieces out, and we're going to take some of this out. And right here, to give him a neck, I'm just going to come down, kind of just like, you know how they have like a deer skin or something draped over? We'll cut something like that in right there. Okay. Okay, let's see if we could do that first with our V tool. All right. I'm just going to run it up this line here. All right. Right up and into the hair there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just like that. And of course the neck here, this will be the neck. Maybe we'll put a little necklace there even. And we'll push all that down and into his coat. I'm going to take my V tool, come around the back, and cut some of this braid out here. So that's all I'm going to do right there. Now you could do this all around. What it's going to be is this part down here will be the braid tip, and this will be like a little, you know, like a piece of leather or something that's actually, these pieces breaking out here. That's actually holding the braid. So we're going to push that hair up and into that, round it off a little bit. We'll round this off too. But first, push that hair in. Because this will be like the piece of leather that they wrap their hair with. And that's what this guy did. He wrapped a little piece of leather there. It's holding his braid. And make sure you push the braid up and under it. And that's what that's going to insinuate there. And we have to get a little shadow by separating that later. That's what we'll do. So we know it's definitely that this is a piece of hair right here, okay? We have to make sure that that hair comes down. Here we go again, trying to hold this thing and see. Most of the problem I'm figuring out is I'm cutting in the wrong spot. I know what I want to do, but I really can't see without my magnifier. So I think from now on, with these little pieces of wood anyway, I'm going to be using my magnifiers because it's just annoying me digging up my wood. It's not really my knife sharp, trust me. It's just I'm cutting in the wrong spot. And then when I go to clear my stop cut, I have 2 or 3 stop cuts and it's just all a mess. Okay, so see how I just made that stick out? So that's going to be one side of his hair. Then we got to do it the other side. Now you can do this with your knife too if you don't have a V tool even. All right, and all I'm doing there is cutting on the line, taking the chip out. So you can do it either way, all right? Cut on the line, take a chip out, and then you just round that over and push the hair in like we did on the other side, all right? Just round it over a little bit and under. And then make sure that the bottom half of that hair, right, goes up and underneath that. Doesn't even have to be a lot to insinuate that that hair is going underneath. And then, of course, this part we'll have to bring up and go underneath. So do that with a stop cut here. Hopefully I can see that line. We'll take just a little piece out. I used to run big, huge stop cuts all the way up the carving, and then it was so satisfying to run it from here all the way up to there and just and peel one big piece off. But can't do that anymore with my eyes. I better stick to little small ones until I have my magnifiers on anyway. I know a lot of our subs are a little older, so you could probably relate when you're trying to carve this little stuff, trying to see the lines that you want to put in. If you're young, enjoy that eyesight while you got it. Okay, and now we just made that stand out. See, so yeah, we could probably get a nice little Native American out of this. Maybe we'll send it to just Carver or Jordy or somebody, you know. We'll see what happens. Now right here, I'm going to take his neck. I'm going to stop cut again around this. This right here will be like his throw or whatever. I'm going to stop cut through there, and I'm going to push some of that neck into, all right, that coat that he's wearing. All right. Let me see if I can hold this on the table here. And we're just going to take that, bring it down some. And like I said, I haven't made one of these in a long time. But it's like riding a bike, I guess. You look at it, you just keep playing with it till it looks like what you want. And if you screw it up, hey, I got plenty of little blocks over here. And this is my first one I've done in a while. So like I say, once I do this guide, then I'll have it back in my head. And then we'll teach a little better. And we'll do one on a big piece of wood. We'll make a nice one for old Jordy over there. Okay, I'm going to cut up. Start taking a little bit of wood out from underneath that chin. Get myself a nice little shadow. And make sure that that jaw is shaped the way I want. I might scoop that with my my gouge just because I like the effect that I get with that. All right, because his neck will be look a lot more natural going into it if I did it with a gouge. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Where is my gouge? I'm going to take my gouge here and I'm going to bring it from the top down, okay? And we're just going to try and scoop some of that into. And then we'll clean it up later. Then to go all the way around like that and scoop into his coat here, okay? That'll give it that concave that we're kind of looking for, and it'll give his neck some wrinkles, and it'll look a lot nicer than what we have right there. Just those hard knife cuts, okay? There, I'll clean those up just a little bit with the knife, because we want all that neck to go underneath and inside his shirt or coat or whatever this thing is, okay? You see how that kind of angled it back, and now his neck's inside, okay? And then we can round this over a little bit so it's not too steep of a high part on the coat here. I can't talk today. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to carve. All right. So I'm just rounding that coat off, or his throw. What'd you call that, Rob? Uncle Dan would know. He was watching the last video. What is that, Dan? I can't think right now. Good to see you, buddy. Coming back again from Florida? He was just here. You should see Dan carve. I'm going to have Dan come on the channel and carve one of his bears. He got really good at them bears. I think that would be fun. Okay, so right here we have a basic Native American. I'm not giving this guy eyes. I don't want to go too far in depth. I was just going to give you another little quick tutorial with the hand tools. I mean, I could play with him, paint him, give him eyes. I am going to do his hair with the V-tool or a veiner. But that was really me practicing because I know Jordy's sending me a box of wood and he really wants one. So I wanted to do one on the channel so you could see it, Jordy, and see if you would want something like this. Because right away he's, I want a headdress. I was like, a headdress? You know how long it's been since I carved an Indian? I did do a cigar store Indian once, and that was, I think he was 4 foot, you know. That was pretty intense, and that was the whole headdress and everything. Now, again, I'm just using the same techniques with our V-tool. I'm going to run some random lines, and then I'll try to take the wood out in between those lines to give him some hair, okay? I'm going to run him right down into his little thingy there. Now I'm starting to talk like Jordy, too. Hey, you don't need to have any kind of brain injury to get older and forget what the hell you're saying, Jordy. But this is going to be something like I'm going to make you if you're watching, which I'm sure he'll check it out later. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get, this would be like his ponytail at the end underneath the braid. So we'll take some wood out here and we'll clean that up as we go. Couple of digs with the V-tool. Like I said, make it deeper when you want a piece to really stand out, okay? Make it a little deeper by taking more than one sweep with it in that spot. All right. I'm going to clean up around here with the V-tool to make that cut a little bit sharper. And he's starting to come along okay. Have to round this one off. I gotta say, holding this wood is a challenge. It's very, very small. But I think if we would do one of these guys, I'm gonna take his coat down here so that stands out a little more. I think if we do one of these guys on one of the 2-inch pieces, you know, I think it'd come out pretty decent and we'd all be happy. Okay, it'd be much easier to carve. These little ones, you get a bad piece and, you know, it just makes it rough. Especially when a lot of the wood, once you take so much of it away, then you're just hitting that bad wood for the rest of your carving, which is kind of what I got going on here. All right, so that's his braid. I didn't really put braids, but you could do this technique to make the braid 1, 2, 3, all the way down, okay? Trying to get this piece to stand out with a little wedge cut underneath. This right here, too, I could cut a little bit more like that out. That's underneath. And some character lines, maybe with the V-tool. Again, he's another small carving. I just might give him 2 V-tool marks like that. And I could clean up his nose a little bit. I should probably use the smaller V-tool. I could clean up his nose with the V-tool. All right. So small. To insinuate those, if I can see, the nostrils there. Or the wings of his nose, I mean, not nostrils. And just bring that nose out a little bit more and hoping I hit it right. Might have to mess with that to get that quite the way I want. And we can give him, like I said, we can give him a bag here. Not a bag, but a character line. Another character line. And some eyebrows. I don't want to go too deep. Actually, I should be using the micro veiner for this because he's such a small piece. Those are a little big. Okay. And a forehead line or 2. And then what I can do is under his jawline here, if I want to, you know, harden that a little bit. I could make a couple of cuts like that also. And then what I would do is I would take my ruby carver and I would go all around this and polish everything up. Let me get some hair in here. A couple of lines. Might even come around the back and finish that piece off like that. And the same over here. See that? So I could kind of go around the back and just do that. That's not so people can look at it. That's actually so it would just stand out a little bit better, okay? Because actually all of this would round off eventually. This right here, the back of this would just all be rounded. And we could shape it, but yeah, that's a bad chunk right there. Oh, wow, see that? That's that bad wood that I'm hitting on the other side. So, I mean, I could just leave this alone, but if I go too far, he's going to end up breaking that all over. All right. But this video is just for teaching purposes, so I'm not worried about that. So there you go. We're going to have a little bit more work with our ruby carver. I'm going to smooth him up and let's see what he looks like. Okay, now I rounded him up, I smoothed him over and everything. The last thing I'm going to do is make sure I got enough hair in this guy to make it stand out. And we could take some smaller bits and make this more interesting, really make him sharp looking. All right, but I kind of like them just simple. All right, this right here I could take down more. I mean, I could mess with this forever. Now, the one point to make is when you're doing the hair on this guy is to push it from this side into the center and this side into the center, okay? So they should, his hair should kind of go, you know, the parts in the middle, remember, so. And I'm just going to run the hair down on this side like this. And that's pretty much all we're doing for a simple carving like this. And like I said, we'll do a nice one when we get I get some bigger pieces. We'll work on a nice one. We'll put all the eyes and the character lines and crow's feet and secondary smile lines and all that good stuff. When we start having a little bit more room and, you know, have a little better piece of wood. Okay, but you got some basics on how to do a quick Native American, even though it doesn't seem quick. He really isn't bad. It's more trouble with the wood than anything. And I got to clean up in here and get some of these. I'm just letting the thing film. But I would mess with him and get all this cleaned up. And that's, even if I have to use my Dremel, like I said, sometimes you just have to bring the Dremel out when you got some bad wood. And like I said, those ruby and diamond bits work good on this too, to clean that up. Okay, so that right there is what we're going to do. I don't think it's going to help much to hit him with 220. I think I'm going to have to use ruby carvers. But I can try and get some of those cuts out, again, with a brass brush also. Sometimes that'll take care of chips that I'm digging at. And I'll make sure I got my visor on. And can see some of these. Whoops, for the next time. I can barely hold the thing. So there you go. There's a nice little Native American. There's your profile shot. Okay, his nose does stick out. Now, his chin sticks out a little bit here. I could take that down because it really shouldn't be past his nose. But I was going for that round part. I'm still playing with him. I will probably take that down just a little bit, so he looks okay from the side, you know. And that's what we ended up with. So, this one's been fun. It was a good review for me. I'll see everybody in the next video, and we'll see what we can carve next. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you then. Bye-bye now.